Right, hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV. Chat, am I okay for audio, etc, etc, while I'm waiting for confirmation on audio? Ali A, what is up my brother, welcome back to the channel. James, they have written the season off because Klopp knows Qatar is coming. This was actually the message that inspired the change in the title. The title originally was the first part, but also do Liverpool even want top four? Because let's be honest, if you're not going to bring in any more January transfers, then that's a huge problem and shows a huge lack of ambition. And therefore, if you're not going to get top four now and top four isn't looking great now, imagine if you don't invest more money. That's a huge, huge thing. But shout out to Ali A. We'll delve more into that before more people get in. Scouse African, yo, James Redmond, what's up? The sky is up. But otherwise, besides my own funny jokes, I am marvellous, my mate. How are you? I hope you're well. And yeah, happy days that you're back, my mate. Shout out to the Scouse African. Shout out to Red Chili, who's a member on the channel, has been a long-time member on the channel as well. Been asking the same question myself for over a week. Yeah, facts. Big up to you, Red Chili. Channon. Hello, Solomon, my G. Solomon, our last few encounters haven't been great. I've called you a prick a few times. No disrespect, my brother. That's just all love and banter. You're my G, Solomon. And even though you're a United fan, I've got a lot of respect for you, my brother. A lot of respect for you. Shout out to Andrew. By the way, guys, this is just a chat and shit stream. This is just a chat and poo stream. We don't need to be all formal. This is just can be a stream where you ask me questions. There's no game on to distract us, and we can be flying. And we can have a great time, and we can make this a thing if it's something that you want to see more of, and I'll try and keep up with as many comments as possible. But in the meantime, I suppose that we should start with the first topic. So I want to ask a question and give you an A or a B. So option A. Obviously, you've seen the title of the video, and it's that FSG are not looking to spend more money. At least Klopp has came out in a recent conference. Now, this is on camera. It's not an off-camera interview, so there's no questions behind it. But when asked, will Liverpool invest more? Will Liverpool get more players this January? The answer was, I don't think so. Now, if you ask your parents, say you're from a council house, and you ask your parents for the latest Xbox. Bear in mind, let's say the latest Xbox has just came out 2 days ago. What do you think your parents are going to say? Because do you know when my mum would say no because she couldn't afford something, do you know what she'd say? I don't think so. And do you know what I don't think so means? It means unless we win the lottery, it is a big fat no from me. And FSG are not going to be winning the lottery, nor trying to sign up for the ticket anytime soon. Therefore, I've got a few issues when it comes to the ambition. So option A, do you think FSG are just showing their old ways where they don't want to spend in January? Or option B, are FSG not looking to buy a big player, chat, because of the potential new owners that are going to be coming in? So option A, are FSG just being stingy? Or option B, are new owners coming in? Because bear in mind as well, chat, FSG need to keep Liverpool as a top 4 team. They need to keep Liverpool as a top 4 team. Therefore, they need to invest. They need to go out and get these players. And if they don't, they're only missing out on the Champions League revenue at the end of the season. And they're only missing out on all the added match days that the Champions League gives you. The biggest match days, the revenue that it generates is huge. To miss out on that is a problem. So I want to know if you think it's option A, are the owners being stingy, or B, are new owners coming in? Because I think it can be a bit of both. I think we weren't going to expect many new January signings anyway. But let's say we were to get one, let's say Tarapt. If we were to buy him, I don't think that would have been a big signing, but still enough to complement the rest of the season. I'm not saying it certifies top 4, but it's an additional option within the squad with what is a very depleted team at the moment. Doesn't look like that's going to be improving anytime soon. The doctors are non-existent, so we need to get something sorted. And if FSG don't care enough to go out and buy new players, then that says to me that they're out the door. Because whenever they haven't won the Champions League before, they've shown a little bit of ambition. What was the last transfer window like when we nearly missed the top 4? But the difference was we got the top 4, which is why I think we never kicked on after the COVID season. But let's read a few of your comments as well. Solomon says option A. Lucas says, what do you reckon with the Salah, Kara and Alcala? Oh, I don't know what this situation is. Lucas, if you can educate me on the situation, then please do. Ross says Qatar can't be new owners, only minority shareholders. because of PSG ownership. Okay, so that actually makes a lot of sense. And again, whether they become minority owners is not the stuff that I'm reading about. The stuff I'm reading about is full case ownership. And whether it's Qatar or whether it's somebody else, there is clearly conversations going on behind closed doors, especially if you consider FSG not wanting to spend any more money. James, as a local lad, what are your thoughts on the Qatari takeover? Now, I've done a video on it earlier. I'm okay with it. If I don't like Qatari owners, I shouldn't like FSG, because they're just the seedy. They don't do many good things. People talk about like, this, that, and the other. Like, the West is a brilliant place to live. The West is fucked. FSG aren't much better owners as well, by the way. Listen, they literally tried to take the whole culture of football away from, and they were a part of that. Whether they were the main person or not, they were still involved in the pile of shit. And mate, I don't want those type of owners being in charge of my football club. And if what you say is true, let's say we can't get PSG's owners, allow me to say to you, if we could, they were one of the owners that didn't go into the Super League, and that's the type of owner that I would want. Because we're already in a world where football's fucked. We're already in a world where, it's kind of like, if you do it, I'll do it. Like City, they done it first. They spent loads of money, and then here we are now. And then Chelsea and other teams, Newcastle are now getting involved in the mix. If we don't jump in, we will be a championship team. We will be a championship team by the time that we could probably sell, I don't know, fucking Adrian. Because that's just the way the league's going. So unless you want to reevaluate your expectations and suggest, okay, then let's just be a mid-table team. Because what we're doing right now is sustainable for a mid-table team. The way we're performing right now could keep Liverpool as a mid-table team, season in, season out, for the next 5 to 10 seasons. And then even then, I think the majority of the Premier League will have owners with dough. And then the Premier League's going to become the Super League. So the Super League is pretty much coming regardless. The only thing is about getting owners who don't give a fuck. Getting owners who don't need to align themselves with a specific organisation, but can very much rely on their own pockets and their own decisions. Let me know what you all think. Adam says, James, would you be okay with another top club's owner owning Liverpool? Listen, I don't know the true ins and outs of how that would work. Just in all honesty, I don't know how that would go. I don't know where the priority splits. I would assume they hire a different board than what they have at PSG, but maybe implement a similar model. What I wouldn't want Liverpool to be, let's say PSG owners come in. What I wouldn't want Liverpool to be is like the testing club. Like, okay, PSG have got the marketing behind it. PSG have got Mbappe, etc. But how much conflict of interest is there? You get what I'm saying? Like, what if you prioritise PSG over Liverpool? I don't like that. But again, though, guys, we have to go back to the point. It doesn't matter what I like, and quite frankly, it doesn't matter what you like. All that matters are the people who are going to be of the most benefit of this football club. Now, we can want a Liverpool fan owner who's not Qatari and not seedy and is completely brilliant. Doesn't exist. Do you know, like those women who come out and say, I want a fella who's 6'3", who's got this much money and has a six-pack and he's from this part of the world, and then you narrow it down and it's like 0.5% of men in the entire universe fit those and match those statistics. Are you serious? We can't be picky. It's either, do you want to be a footballing team who's competing for mid-table, or do you want to go as far as the other teams have gone and go in bullshit and just go full Qatari? And we shouldn't even be saying full Qatari, by the way. Because there's other big owners like in America and across the world who are looking to invest into Liverpool right now. Best believe it's not just going to be 1 or 2 or 3 parties. There's going to be multiple parties who are getting involved in this. By the way, mods, if anyone's spamming, especially people who are spamming, can you make me mod? Ban them. Ban the fucks. I'm only messing. Nah, do ban them, no. Time them out and then ban them. Because, do you know what it is, guys? I hate being harsh, but I just don't like people who spam. There's no point for it. And I even try to be generous and make the spam thing 5 seconds, so you can send a comment every 5 seconds. But you took the piss, mate. T-Boys TV says, James, smashing it on YouTube, like, keep it up. Thank you, brother. Cheese says, why are people stupidly optimistic regarding Ruben Neves? Chat, yes or no? Are you on the Ruben Neves hype? Do you all think that we're getting Ruben Neves? Come on, chat, let's be honest with ourselves. Let's not be a bunch of fools. Yes or no, we're getting Ruben Neves, and I only want to see sensible answers only. Common sense answers only. Anything else? I've already lost enough brain cells following this football club recently. and I can't be fucked. I think Neves is going to Barcelona, and I think that suits Neves much more. I would love Neves. I just feel like we missed an opportunity to get him earlier, and now that we're going to say if we brought him in now and he doesn't work out, there's no resale value there. And unfortunately, with how limited our spending budget is, we have to worry about what player we're going to bring in. It can't just be anyone. It can't just be Matheus Nunes because it's Matheus Nunes. It can't just be Ruben Neves because he's got Premier League experience. And that's because of the type of owners that we do have. Fucking annoying, mate. Greetings from the Philippines. Big up to everyone in the Philippines. Shout out to Sol Papi as well, by the way. Did you see his awesome performance? Chat, I would think about getting into this YouTube boxing, you know. Do you know, like the Misfits event? W or L? Do you know if I got involved in it? Would that be a W or an L? I'm an alright boxer. I'm not a great boxer. I'm an alright boxer. I think I could crack a few of these, but I don't know. I thought the production was quite good. Of the Misfits. I think the way that they're building the organisation is really, really decent. James. Would you back me? Yeah. Would you? Yeah, chat. Here's the real question. Would you buy on pay-per-view or would you buy streams, you fucks? Not buy streams. Would you watch on a stream? And don't lie. I know you would watch on a stream, you fucks. I know you would not pay to watch me box, you fucks. Absolute knobheads. Bonafire says, did you guys read the article? In fact, I'll save that on the screen. I will save that on the screen. I'll read a few more of these comments regarding the fight. Solomon says we will all be front row. That'd be sick. That imagine me just going in there, popping a kid, knocking him out round one, unconscious. Life leaves the body and everything. Not actually dead, by the way. That'd be very dark. But all yous were front row, Redmond's army cheering me on. And then we just all there will lift a Liverpool. In fact, nah, because not all these are Liverpool fans. But something along those lines and we can have a belter. But I think that's fairly okay as well. And plus, I think there's a big underwhelming amount of trash talk at the moment. I think the trash talk not only in Misfits but also UFC and stuff. I just feel like there's a lot of people who are lacking on the communication side of things. I just sometimes listen to those press conferences and think, you know what, mate, I'd love to be on the microphone. I'd love to be on the microphone popping shots. You know what I mean? But I'd want to fight someone good. I'd want to fight someone who could bang me because I spar sometimes. I don't like fighting people who I'm better than because I don't know. But if I get cracked, then that's where I can proper get up for it. You know what I mean? But I am also focused on my technique. Got to make sure that you got that chin covered and the hands up. Scouse Pappy versus Sol Pappy, you know that. Anyway, let's get back to footy. Would you let Ryan Reynolds and Rob... Wait there. Would you let Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhaney take over Liverpool? Not a I mean, if they had the dough, but as far as I'm concerned, there's a reason why they're running Wrexham opposed to Liverpool, and it's because they don't have money. Redmond versus Expression. No. I will only ever support Expressions in a boxing fight. I'd have a WWE match with him, though, and I'd fuck him up. If me and Expressions, Expressions, I'm calling you out. If you want to fight in the WWE, I call you out for the next WrestleMania. If you want to do this, then let's do it man v man, mano y mano. And just know, my friend, that there will be no competition. Come on, James Blood. You know that I got the flips and tricks. Your flips and tricks will mean absolutely nothing, you spare support and fail. Me, you, WrestleMania, whatever it is. Because the last time I checked, it was WrestleMania 30, but I know that we're a lot more advanced from there. Screw you, Expressions. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for the WWE title. And that's facts. James the Red Redmond. No, that's a shit name, Stefan. Stefan, do better than this. What? James the Red Redmonds. How long did you take up to come up with that? Who came up with that, you daughter? Fucking hell, Stefan. Much love, Stefan. How are we even going to make top four? Well, this is the point that I'm going back to, and I'll get back onto the track that I was trying to go on earlier. If FSG don't want no more January... In fact, let me rephrase. Because FSG don't want to sign anybody else this January, and as that means we probably won't sign anybody else this January, I am really intrigued if that is because there is other people who are thinking about taking over the club. Whether it's Qatar, whether it's someone else, it's very easy to put Qatar in a news article, and it's very easy to put the picture of PSG's owners in a news article and hope for the best. What really matters is getting someone who's going to take care of this football club and show ambition. Otherwise, we will fall. We will become mid-table. And we will become average. And unless people want to persist with FSG, you're going to have very contradicting views, because you're going to be fans who want to compete for Premier Leagues, want to compete for Champions Leagues, and unfortunately, you're not going to have the owners to do it. And you're going to be very confused to why you're not where you want to be. And that's why fans, I don't want to say sensible fans like myself, because I don't know everything about football, mate. I'm just here giving my opinion. But I just know the solutions that I'm hearing from, if you want to call them top reds, or let's say overly optimistic fans, is not correct, because you know where they're basing their opinions off. They're basing it off emotion. They're basing it off no logic whatsoever. And shout out to my brothers. I'm doing a Hot Topics with them tomorrow, Mario and Alex. And by the way, let me know if you watch the Hot Topics podcasts, besides the clips that I put on this channel. Shout out to them too, but fuck me, mate. You know, we ran the football club the way they do, we'd be relegated within years. We'd be relegated, because these would hold on to Bobby Firmino until he's 40. These guys would hold on to Salah till he's 40. These guys would just do and say and just look for the positives in all realms, and they buy players who'd be shit in the short term but great in the long term. And as much as I love them, I just think the way they think and the way a lot of other fans think is just tapped. And I mean that in the most respectful way. I'm sure you listen to the way I speak and the way I think and the way I put thoughts together and think that I'm tapped. But if you are FSG in, as much as I can have a very civil conversation with you, it's not like this is politics, this is fucking football. It doesn't need to get too deep. But I think you're thick as pig shit. Because I don't know if there's any logical reason out there to me being able to change my mind on turning from my current opinion on FSG to turning otherwise. Because they're just a bunch of shitbags. Chat, is that a W or an L? Know what I mean? I agree with Professor Chadwick. This is a game changer. What's a game changer? What did Professor Chadwick say? Shout out to Professor Chadwick. James, if Chelsea is worth 4 billion, who is going to pay nearly 6 for Liverpool? You'll be surprised. You will be surprised. Like, in terms of who could offer that money. This is a joke. W. It's a W. LFC would be 17th place right now if it was not for the start from Bobby this season. I mean, I think I get the point you're trying to make. If Bobby didn't score the goals at the beginning of the season. But do remember, a lot of those goals came in the Bournemouth 9-0 and then a few after. I feel like we still could have got results here and there. I'm worried for the rest of the season, man. I'm not going to lie to you, chat. Also, if you could let me know any topics that have been going about today, any questions that you want to answer me or ask me, then feel free. But the overall rounds and update on the FSG situation, people, is very plain and simple. If they are going to go, they are going to go saving as much money as they possibly can. You have to get this into your heads. Their job is not to appease to us as the fans. Their job is to maximise the financial circumstances of their pockets. Because they don't care about Liverpool the way they care about FSG. We care about Liverpool the way we care about Liverpool. That's the difference. We've got the sincere ambitions. We've got the ambitions which a club like Liverpool, the most successful club ever in England to win the most trophies, should maintain those ambitions. But the longer that we keep these owners, day by day, hour by hour, these standards will continue to drop. And you're already seeing it on the pitch. Absolute beasts like Fabinho, Virgil, Salah. Now just looking like a bunch of rich bastards playing football. They've got a bit of technique, but no incentive. It's like Conor McGregor. Put him in an octagon now. It's not the same Conor McGregor as before. Why? Because he's done very well for himself. And let's celebrate that. Well done, you made money. But you're no longer a fighter. If you compare yourself to me, you're a fighter. You can fucking kick my head in all you want. But that's not the standards that young 23, 24-year-old Conor McGregor was holding himself to. He wouldn't go to bed satisfied knowing I can bang James. I can do this. By the way, I forgot to read out Big Six Band's super chat because I was rambling. No, Mons, I'm sorry. Mons, if you can remind me what you said before, because that was... How dare I not read out your super chat? Let me read out Scouse African just in place. And if anyone knows the super chat, remind me. 13 players in my mind should have gone. Scouse African, name the players, man. Because I actually don't think you're too far wrong. I don't think you're too far wrong saying that we need to get 13 players gone. I think we're very close to that. But the standards will continue to drop because these players don't have an incentive no more, chat. And until they get it, we're fucked. By the way, smash a like. It gets the streams more out there. I don't do many live streams, but if you want to see more of them, then just keep letting me know, and I'll happily do them, mate. But yeah, Mons, if you can not send the super chat again, but send what your super chat said, because I don't think I read it out, brother. By the way, guys, go subscribe to Mons. Mané wanted to leave as he knew FSG wouldn't invest correctly in the squad, and he be flagged to death. Oh yeah. That was another thing I didn't like, the narrative that was built of Mané not wanting to stay at Liverpool, and that it was because he didn't like Liverpool or any absolute bullshit, and it was such disrespect to somebody who's put so much hours, effort, time into this club. And you see how much we miss a player like Mané since he's went. But let me compare that example with one with Wayne Rooney when he wanted to join Man City. Now, why did Wayne Rooney want to join Man City? Not because it was a dream of his when he was a kid. Man City weren't doing fuck all when Wayne Rooney was bouncing through the Everton academy. But what Man City ended up doing was showing ambition, showing investment. And then what went and happened? City went on to dominate football for the next 10 years. Yes, there was anomalies where we won the league and other teams, Leicester. But in the main, it's been City's era. And I feel like very few people will dispute that. Wayne Rooney wanted to go and be successful. He wanted to be able to sit back at the end of his career and say, I've got this many Premier Leagues, this many Champions Leagues, this many. Instead of saying, I won all these Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues, but from the age of 30, I was done. Mané went to Bayern Munich where there was ambition, where there was more money on the table, where there was more trophies on the table. It was not a bad thing for Mané to go to Bayern Munich. In fact, I was very happy that he went to Bayern Munich because I agree with that comment. Shout out for that comment. This club lacks ambition. And when you lack ambition, you do not have the right to keep footballers like Sadio Mané. It's an exchange. It's not just you play for Liverpool because we're Liverpool. You play for Liverpool, and in exchange, we will put you in a good team. We will put you in a competitive team to give you the chance of improving and enhancing your trophy cabinet. Do you see what I'm saying, chat? I sometimes know what I'm saying. Sometimes. Don't you know what happens in government today? Confirmed by Conservative, levelling up. Oh, mate, the politics and all that, I don't too much of. If it relates to football, I'll touch on that. But yeah, on this channel, I try and avoid politics. Mainly on the premise that I don't get involved with politics myself. 400 people in here. If there's not 100 likes, then use it all, selfish bastards. Help a YouTuber out, it costs that. I'm only messing. Ross says, you've had crap squads before, but I don't recall Liverpool ever being this crap. You might need to wash out the memory then. Is this your worst Premier League season so far? So far? All these World Cup players, in quotation marks, make your position even worse. Right. Do I think this is the worst season that we've began? No. I've seen Roy Hodgson as manager. But even in recent history, I think the COVID season was worse. And the reason why I say the COVID season was worse is because that season, we lost 7-2 to Aston Villa. And let me say this with emphasis so people truly understand what I'm about to say. We lost 6 games in a row at Anfield. 6 games. Now, listen, that ended well. We ended up getting third, and we might not be able to achieve that same luxury this time around. The only thing is, my friends, is that although we might not get that same luck, it's still shit. But it's not as bad as losing 6 games in a row. But the point still stands is that was a really bad time. Thankfully, we fixed ourselves together. But lightning doesn't always strike twice. We might not get that same luck this time round. And I'm absolutely certain that Liverpool could have played worse through the 90s because that was post-success. That was post-Fagan, Paisley, Shankly. That was post that sort of era, and they were trying to maintain it with Roy Evans and stuff, and it didn't quite work out. And throughout the 90s, Liverpool just continued a steady decline. And then once we got into the new sort of 2000s era, it was just about trying to compete with Manchester United, who by the end of the 90s, they were a force to be reckoned with. So Liverpool can't afford to do that again. And you've got to recognise it's only a matter of moments before Chelsea get back in the race. It's only a matter of moments before City buy another 3 players in the summer and then they're back to getting 90-plus points. If we're struggling now, when Arsenal are improving, United are improving, Chelsea are improving, City are improving, and then let's say we go with some of the notion of letting Klopp go, like some stupid dickheads are saying, and again, I'm open to opinion. In fact, I'm not going to call them dickheads. I'll take that back. I just massively disagree with Klopp going, to be honest. If you have your opinion on Klopp going and you have a reason to back that, as much as I won't agree with it, I'll say fair enough, because that's how I think discussions should be had. But if all those things happen, we're fucked. And it's much easier to go and get a new world-class player than a new world-class manager. That's just facts. But anyway, let me read a few of your questions and comments before we round up the stream. Who's your favourite lower league club? I don't know. I don't mind Portsmouth. They were cool watching growing up. But with an instant answer, I'm not sure. James, why do you think Klopp doesn't play Carvalho? Does he not rate him? You thought that Carvalho pissed on Klopp's boots or something? Nah, do you know what, mate? I don't know why he's not playing Carvalho, and it's a big shame that Klopp isn't exercising the rotation more. It's like, okay, we're losing games, but why aren't you using more players? And the only answer that I can come up with the lack of rotation is purely on the premise that Fabio Carvalho is a like-for-like for Harvey Elliott. He's a like-for-like for all the young players that we've got right now. I wouldn't mind seeing him because he'd show more urgency, but the last thing you want to do to a young player is knock his confidence because he's not physically ready for the Premier League. And you're kind of seeing it happening with Harvey Elliott. Do you want to fit Fabio Carvalho into that same system, under that same fire, in the same Premier League, in a team that's lacking? I don't think it's good for Fabio Carvalho to be starting in this team, the same way I don't think it's good for Harvey Elliott. Chat, if you remember last season, not this one, last one at the start when Harvey was playing before he got the injury against Leeds, everyone was licking his ass saying, oh, Harvey, he's the answer for when Thiago's not there. And if you don't believe me, go back and fucking watch. Believe me, that was the case. And then that was when we were playing well. That was when the midfield had legs, and that was when there was cohesion within the team. And Harvey Elliott was thriving because when he got on the ball, he shown creativity, whereas now he's not getting those same runs. He's not getting those same options in midfield. And all that's creating is a lack of... What's the word I'm looking for? Is a lack of involvement. And due to a lack of involvement, people leave a game saying, where was Harvey Elliott today? And then they'll just align him with being shit. The same very well could happen with Carvalho. I think Klopp's being patient because as much as Carvalho isn't worse than what we've got, I certainly don't think he's the answer. And that's what I believe Klopp's thinking as well. Scott says, Bellingham to happen in the summer or not? I have no idea, mate. The more I talk on Jude Bellingham, the more I believe we're not getting him. No Trent at right back and Salah down the middle solves our problems. I think Trent's been really good since coming back from the World Cup. Chat, let me know if you disagree, but I think he's been our best player by quite a distance. And if you get rid of Trent out the system, then you're literally changing the whole system, which might be required, but I don't think that's the solution or the first step that Liverpool need to take to finding the solution. Shocker says, James, why do you think Klopp doesn't play Carvalho? Oh, I've already read that one out. My bad. A lot of people are talking about Mo Salah in the comments as well. I feel like that, before we move on to Mo Salah, we'll read this. Carvalho not playing in the last 5 games is crazy. Now, that's where Jurgen Klopp takes the piss. He takes the piss because he should be getting an involvement. If you're going to be playing Oxlade-Chamberlain, then why not just play Carvalho? Carvalho's at least the future of the football club. But like I said, all the reasons that I said there. Mo was pictured taking the Ritz with the PSG owner and Carragher as a representative of the club. I think he will join the consortium when PSG project is finished after the 23-24 season. Okay, then, so you think PSG owners will become official owners of Liverpool after the 23-24 season? If it happens, I'm excited for the new era. I believe we need change. Change doesn't always mean you find the right answer, but change is very much needed unless you want to stagnate and unless you want to stay in one place. If you want to stay in one place, keep FSG. If you want a sustainable football club with a 0 net spend every summer, keep FSG. If you want to compete, you're fucked if you want to keep those things. Not asked about Qatari owners. We got the history. We've got the history, but that history will only mean so much if we don't keep building on it. You know what I mean? Nice one for the super chat, though, BH. Big up yourself, lad. Much love to you, matey. Solomon says, who do you honestly feel is winning the league? Top 4, 6... Most say Arsenal, but I really don't want them winning it. Still have to play City twice plus United. I just don't think... I don't know. I think Arsenal will win the league. I think the way they play is the most beautiful football. And it's efficient. It's getting results. And as much as I believe United can push them, I was speaking to Aaron earlier, he's a United fan, and he said that Man United aren't looking to improve in this January transfer window. And I think you only get so far without any reinforcements and extra options up front and extra efficiency up front to where they're going to get the goals. Like, I know not in current form, but Man United need a Mo Salah in his prime. Someone who's just going to get the goals and be efficient. Like, Haaland would have been perfect. But, of course, you couldn't get him. All right, Luca, I've read your comment now. Fucking hell, mate. You know what I mean? You don't need to be sending that many comments in. And, guys, make sure you ban people if they're sending messages like that in. You know what I mean? Just because you want your question. I've already answered that question. You're still sending it in. Fucking hell, Luca. You know what I mean? Thiago slowed us down. Hang on, let me read this comment. I'm trying to get through all these Luca messages. Right, Johnny says, Thiago slowed us down ever since he joins. I can't stand him in the middle of the park. He's our Spanish Pogba, always injured and never delivered on these De Bruyne. That's a great comparison. Chat, do you think that's a good comparison to Pogba? Because in terms of the... let me just break it down for Johnny, because Johnny only gets so many words to use when he's writing down his opinion. I'll try and extend it just a little bit. Paul Pogba joins Manchester United as one of the best centre-mids in the world, and then underachieves when he gets there. Thiago's followed a very similar thing, and the main thing that's held Thiago back is injuries, the same way Pogba was held back. I think that's a great comparison. As much as I do rate Thiago above Pogba in many aspects of football, I do think there's an element of truth there. And the biggest mistake, whether it was Klopp or whether it was FSG, was not getting a like-for-like change for Gini. I get Gini was done. Gini was older. We needed to improve him. But we never improved him. We never went out there and got a Renato Sanchez at the time. We never went out there and got legs for the midfield. But instead, we went out there to try and get a guy who was going to be more suited to the long balls, which we're trying to play. And you know, these long balls is the biggest thing I've got with Klopp at the moment. In no way am I Klopp out, but them long balls piss me off because you're giving teams more possession. You're wasting the efficiency of your players, the Mo Salahs and the Darwin Núñez's, by doing these constant long balls, and you do them. Even when Trent isn't playing and these other players, I'm sick of just trying to get the ball into pace merchants. Try and play a little bit of football. Try and actually keep the possession in the midfield. Have you ever heard of the term playing from the back to front? Try it sometime. It can work phenomenally. Oh, and by the way, you've tried it before and it worked phenomenally, which is why I know. And it's weird that I have to come on camera and I kind of feel, and I know Jurgen Klopp knows more about football than I do, but I feel like I'm telling him things that he's taught me. Things that he's taught me on what to do and what not to do in football based on his tactical prowess. He's now doing. He flipped at Tony Pulis a few years ago for long balls, and he's now doing long balls. Sort your shit out, Jurgen. And I am pissed off at it because it is inconsistencies. And what I feel really sorry for Jurgen, because he has to be a yes man. He has to come out in the press conferences and say, oh, we don't know about January signings, or oh, I don't think we're going to buy any more January signings. And he's one who's going to get all the shit, which is why I hold back on Klopp a lot and put more emphasis on the owners, because you're just wasting a man's potential there. It's like having Lionel Messi as a footballer, but putting him in Football League 2. If you put him in Football League 2, yeah, he's going to tear up Football League 2. Yeah, he can be the greatest manager for Football League 2. But if you put him in the Premier League, he's going to be the greatest player of all time. If you put Jurgen Klopp in a team that is not willing to invest, like the way the other big teams do, then unfortunately, you're not going to get the results of what is a winning manager at your helm. Jurgen Klopp has proven that he can win. Let me take you back to a statement that the Dortmund CEO said a while back when he was talking about how he regrets letting Jurgen Klopp go. This is a manager who had Thomas Tuchel as the replacement for Jurgen Klopp. Someone as great as Thomas Tuchel, and he still regrets letting Jurgen Klopp go. And you know what he said? It's easier to replace players than replace managers. And the same stands here. Before Klopp goes, I want to see Van Dijk gone. Before Klopp goes, I want to see Fabinho gone. Before Klopp goes, I want to see Salah gone. Because these guys, as much as they are legends, they do not hold the same value to this football club as what Jurgen Klopp does. And that, my friends, is just fact. At this point, play Trent in midfield. That's never going to happen. It's never been entertained. It's never been brought. He's never even been subbed on. That'll never happen at all. I feel like the only way that happens is if we have to start diving into the academy for players. And listen, we're already doing that. But if Conor Bradley comes back from Bolton, you have him and Calvin Ramsey there as your right backs. If you wanted to try it, you could, but it's just not going to happen at all. And I'd love to see Trent in midfield just to see what it's like. I think he probably thrives more at right back, to be honest. But James, like, Klopp is the one. Klopp is one of the GOATs, but sometimes a club needs a breath of fresh air and needs some new ideas. I'm probably in the minority, but maybe we need Klopp to leave to move forward. Would you want Klopp to leave before you want FSG to leave? Because I agree with the middle part of what you've just said. The club needs a breath of fresh air. How is letting Klopp go that breath of fresh air when all you're going to do is get a manager who's probably worse than him? It's a breath of fresh air, but it doesn't mean it's a good... It's like me saying to you, all right then, let's get rid of your Xbox 360 and let's get the traditional Xbox for you. It's like, yeah, it's a new Xbox, but it's not necessarily what you were looking for when you asked for a new Xbox. It's the same with a new manager. You can ask for a new manager, but allow me to ask you the question, who do you want it to be? Thomas Tuchel? Because let's say you even think Thomas Tuchel can do half of what Jurgen Klopp has done at Liverpool, which he probably could. But remember, he won the Champions League with Chelsea with money spent. It was still impressive, by the way, but there was still a heavy invested squad there. He got to the Champions League final with PSG, and I don't need to tell you why. It's PSG. They always spend on. Can he do the same for Liverpool? I don't think so. Can Pep come to Liverpool with these owners and win a Premier League and Champions League? I don't think so. I don't think so. I'd even question Sir Alex Ferguson. Because he had 7 years till he won a trophy at United. Imagine if Jurgen Klopp was held to those standards. He'd have been gone a long time ago. And I understand that you're a part of a minority, Callum, but just think about it. You're getting rid of a manager who can do them things that I've just listed, that I highly doubt a Thomas Tuchel could do. And I've just mentioned it. They're the greatest manager to ever grace the Premier League, without question, by the way, in Sir Alex Ferguson. He was another example of someone who it took time. Arsene Wenger kind of got off to a quick start, to be fair, but Arsene Wenger was insane at the start, and then he kind of dipped towards the end. Jurgen Klopp could be the best of both, where he wins a little bit in his early stages like he did, and then he wins a little bit in his second half, which is what he's in now. It might not happen this season, but I have strong belief Jurgen Klopp is the man to take us forward in the short term and the long term. And I don't think sacking him is an option. I think you've got to get rid of the starting 11 before you sack Klopp, and I think you've got to get rid of the owners before you sack him. That's if you were going to sack him. But you know what, though, guys? I feel like we've had a productive show. I've got my cup of tea, James. Oh, I love that from you. If you don't tune into my shows with any form of pleasurable, like a pleasure on the side, I don't know if you smoke or if you drink or if you have a cup of tea, whatever it is, sit back and we're all just going to have a belter, have a little discussion. And just an opportunity for me to talk to the firm more. Like, you guys tune in. We've got nearly 500 people in here. Please smash a like if you want to. If you don't want to, then smash a dislike and let me know why you don't like the videos. But I really appreciate it, guys. Like, I've just started these live streams again. I'd like to do them more going forward, where we just all chat shit. And if you're up for it, I'll do this again tomorrow morning. Would that be a good time? I'd need news to come out before tomorrow morning. Do you know what, though? We've got the game tomorrow, don't we? I could do a Wolves preview when I wake up. No, that's Wednesday, the game. Chat, it's the game tomorrow or when? No, it is tomorrow. It is tomorrow. I'll do a live stream. Yeah, I'll do a preview in the morning. And then I'll do a Wolves watch along later in the day, because it's the replay for the FA Cup tomorrow, isn't it? What are your thoughts of Tyler Morton at Blackburn? Also, shout out Tyler Morton. He's just got a new contract with the club. Very deserved from what I've heard from him in the academy. I've heard that he's a hard worker. I've heard that he's got the ability to have potential to be a good player for Liverpool in the future. From what I've seen, I like him. I think he's a good option for the squad going forward. Should he be the main man going forward? Obviously not, but unless he comes in and sets the world alight. But Klopp clearly has faith in him. That's for damn sure. Is it time to sell Salah? Chat, yes or no, is it time to sell Salah? I want to get your answers first before I answer mine. Because I do think it's a question that's worth asking. And I don't want to hear like, oh, but think about everything he's done. Just like, think about it. Think about it. No. No way. Sell the lot. Here's the thing. I wouldn't sell Mo Salah. I wouldn't, because it wouldn't make any sense. If we sell him, we're not going to get any money for him. And then if we sell him, it's only another club that's going to get his goals. And whether he's had a good season or not, he still gets goals and he still gets assists. Now, I don't think that should warrant him starting games of football. But I do believe that Salah coming off the bench could be a very valuable option. So would I sell Salah? No. We've just signed him on a new big contract. He's not going to go anyway. And again, no club's going to come in and invest any money into him. So there's no point. What we can do is use the man as an option as off the bench, because he's not good enough when he starts games. He doesn't contribute enough to the all-round team. And he also looks slower. Maybe if he came on at the end of games when he can utilise that slightly slower pace against these players when they're a bit more tired, can work much more in his favour. And there's not as much emphasis on putting 3 men on Mo Salah. So let's say you play Diaz, Gakpo and Núñez. That's a whole completely different front three, which has got to be better than what we've got now. And bring Salah off the bench until he earns his spot back in the team. I don't care if your name's Mo Salah. I don't care if your name's Virg. I don't care if your name's Fabinho. If you're not putting in everything for the shirt, I don't want to see you in it. I'd rather you sit on the bench. People are saying sell Naby Keita and Oxlade. Keita's already going. Liverpool have confirmed that Keita is not going to be signing a contract extension. That is news. That is officially broken. Finally, thank fuck, because he needs to go. For his sake and for Liverpool fans, because we're just losing patience with each other. I don't think Keita's happy with us. We're not happy with him. It's just one of them. Like, we tried it, mate, and it just didn't work out. It can go that way sometimes. I think Naby could have been a really good player, but it was always a risky transfer. And it was a risky transfer that wouldn't have been as bad if we invested afterwards. That was our biggest issue. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Núñez has scored more than prime Marcus Rashford. But again, they're two similar players, and I think I don't really rate any of them too highly. I've never rated Marcus Rashford excessively. I think he's good at what he's good at, but I'm not the biggest fan from a footballing point of view, and the same stands for Núñez. So if you want to compare them two, I wouldn't want any of them starting up front in my Champions League final. Is all I'm saying. Shout out to the Darwin Núñez super fans. I love every single one of you. Jay says, why do you think Liverpool owners still keep players like Nat Phillips, James Milner, Joe Gomez, and they're clearly past it and need to move to other clubs? I think it's a bang-on situation. I think one thing Liverpool and the manager has to take blame for this as well. Well, actually, not really, because he's not a doctor. But the fact that Joe Gomez has had multiple ligament injuries and he's just signed a new 5-year deal in the summer. And we expect him to be the same Joe Gomez that won us the league title. He's just not the same. He doesn't take the same risks with his body, and the same goes with Virgil van Dijk, and the same goes with Joel Matip. These guys just don't put the body on the line, and that's because they've achieved everything they've needed to achieve for Liverpool, and that's why now we've got to look for adamant replacements at centre-back. And even though we've got Konate, we do need to get a new centre-back next season, like Guardiola or whoever the fuck it is. Like, just get someone who's going to show that urgency. I want Guardiola because he's coming from a similar team to Konate, so systematically it just kind of makes sense with the type of player that we're looking for. But furthermore, the good thing about Guardiola is he's young and he's urgent. He's a Liverpool fan, so he'll show that urgency, that extra little bit of fight, and put his body on the line that little bit more, which is what we clearly need right now, because we're struggling for that, mate. We've got no legs in that team whatsoever. Everyone's just a big gang of shitbags, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of players pulling out tackles and avoiding tackles and avoiding injuries. You shouldn't be playing. I feel sorry for footballers. I hate the way they have to play 3 times a week. I hate the way that they're limited to what they can say. Footballers are robots, and you know, everyone who wants to be a footballer, good luck, but I feel so sorry for you, because being a professional footballer is not what it seems. You have no control or dictatorship over your life, and I feel terrible for them. But at the end of the day, there's standards to be maintained, and unfortunately, you could probably say everyone in the world's like, you know, working for something else, but they get paid well for it. Even though they get paid well for it, that just lowers the incentive even more. They've got no reason. They've already got the followers, they've got the fame, they've got the attention, and they've got the money. Now they just want fucking peace. And that's what we should say to them. Núñez will be better as an Origi super sub. I agree. And people have been saying to me, like, James, Núñez, look how shit we've been without Núñez. We weren't much better with him. But in the current circumstances with the injuries we've got, Núñez needs to be playing because he's showing more urgency than anybody else in that front three. The player I want to see dropped is Salah. I'm sick of Salah playing right wing, starting right wing. I don't care about his numbers. You watch his performance. I've not watched one game this season besides when he came on against Rangers, which is why I'm saying substitute him. But when he came on against Rangers, that's the only game I've thought, fucking hell, that looked like prime Mo Salah. And that was Rangers. Like, no other game this season have I seen that. In fact, I will argue, since the back-to-back games of Man City and Watford last year, I would argue I haven't saw that Mo Salah since then. And that was over a year ago. Since then, he's been dreadful. Let's call a spade a spade. Not a bad thing. It's like if I come on camera, like, yeah, for instance, there's days where I'm on camera and I'm in a bit of a mood and I'm not as jokey. Or I'm a bit more serious sometimes than what I want to be. Because I'm trying to create a good show where you can actually open discussion and whatever. I don't always have the perfect day, but you guys still have more than the right to call me out on it. The same way I can call Mo Salah out if he's playing shit. Because he is. We need to sign Kudus. We need to sign loads of players. I don't even think Kudus is the main answer to the problems. Salah's ball control was absolutely horrible against Brighton. I was frustrated. But this is what Salah's been doing. He's been rushing decisions. He's not utilising the left foot more. He's trying to change up his game. He's not a technically elite footballer anyway. Stick to what you're good at. And if it's not working, then that needs to be accommodated. And I don't want to have this Harry Maguire thing where just because you're a big paid player, the highest paid player at the club, the same way Harry Maguire was like the highest paid centre-back of all time, it doesn't mean you should just start and find a way to make it work just because we've given him a new contract. Fuck that. Play Harvey on the right. Play Ben Doak on the right. I don't give a fuck. Just play someone who's going to show agency. Hey, shout out to Flawless, guys. If you don't go and subscribe to Flawless, then you're quite frankly a fool. Much love to Flawless. You're my G. Rihago says, should we buy Bellingham or use this money and buy two midfielders? That's the reason why I don't think we'll get Bellingham, is because the board know we need more than one midfielder. The manager knows we need more one midfielder. The midfielders themselves know we need more than one midfielder. And that's why I'm thinking if we get Jude and we spend 120 million, let's say, because do you know this 250 million war chest that's been going about since 2018 doesn't exist? So we're waiting for players to leave. And until these certain players go, bear in mind, Ox is going on a free. Naby's going on a free. Milner isn't going for anything, whether he leaves this season or next season. So all it does is free up the wages. Curtis has just signed a new contract, so you're getting no money there. Tyler Morton's just signed a new contract, so you're not getting any money there. Therefore, you probably have to think of the idea we might need to go and get two midfielders, which means we avoid Jude. And I don't mind that. We don't just need Jude. If we put Jude in this starting 11, guess what changes? Zero! Maybe an extra goal here and there, but nothing changes, because you've got the same shit centre-backs. You've still got two unreliable midfielders, whether it's Henderson and Fabinho, Thiago and Fabinho. Bellingham can't solve this all by himself. Let's not put that type of pressure on a 19-year-old who's only exceeded in the Bundesliga. And I love Bellingham, and I want Bellingham, and I'd spend 120 million on Bellingham. But let's not do that. That's not smart to put all your hopes on a 19-year-old. No way. So yeah, you need balance and you need to get a variety of midfielders. And I don't know if we're going to do that. Yeah, James, you're going to get blocked, mate. It's as simple as that. From now on, anyone who spams, I don't care if it is every 5 seconds, don't spam. Because you're not going to be here. And it pisses me off. And it annoys me. And it annoys the chat because it means I don't get to read all the comments of people who are trying to interact. It's hard enough as it is. So you spamming just doesn't help. And I don't want to be that guy. I've told 2 people to stop spamming today. And I feel like that grumpy. Do you know, like when you were a kid and you booted the ball at an old man's door, and at the time you don't realise why you're being a knobhead. You're just a kid and you're playing football, you're at his door. Calm the fuck down. I feel like that old grumpy man when you all spam. Shout out to Mark. He says, although Salah's form seems bad, he's been our best forward over the past year. Just shows. I disagree with that. I think Mané was our best forward. If you're going to go over the premise of 2022, even though he weren't here for half of it, Sadio Mané. And I'd even argue Luis Diaz had a better 2022 than Mo Salah. Because numbers don't just dictate what was a better year. Numbers is just one part of the argument. The main part of the argument is the overall contribution to the team. And I think Luis Diaz has shown a lot more urgency than what Mo Salah is. And last thing, I think if Mo Salah was injured, that would be a significant less missed than what Luis Diaz is right now, in my opinion. But I would say Mané was the best forward in 2022, even though he weren't there for half of it. He was unbelievable in the second half of last season. Who remembers Mané's assist against United? We're already reminiscing with the United games, even though it was only a year ago. But who remembers that assist in the 4-0 or 4-1? I think it was 4-0. There's actually a vlog on this channel of that game, and it was a belter. Guys, please do smash the likes as it gets the streams more out there. More people tune into the channel. More people support the channel, which means I can do this on a more regular basis. I love the live streams as well. I'll do more of this. I always say I'll do more live streams, but now I've actually got better equipment and stuff to do it. It's the same equipment, but better laptop and whatever have you, because I've got a new laptop. Wagwan G, what do you think about the front four of Mudryk and Nkunku, Osimhen and Felix? I think we'll get permanent. Who I think we'll get permanently. Perfect mix of creativity, speed, finishing, and technical ability. On paper, that is a fucking brilliant front four, and that's why I say to Liverpool fans and neutrals, like, just don't sleep on Chelsea, mate. Like, I know that the owner's getting it wrong right now, but do you know when there's an owner who says, fuck you this much, and just goes and spends another 100 million? That's a dangerous man to be working with, and I don't know how long he can keep getting away with spending 100 million here and there, and like, fucking hell. This owner, who is also from America, can go out and spend 10 million on João Felix on loan for 6 months. Not a year loan deal. A 6-month loan deal, which is now cut down to a 5-month loan deal. For 10 million? We didn't even spend that on Andrew Robertson. Put it together, chat. Chelsea will be fine. Chelsea will be fine. You just need to get rid of Havertz, though. I watched the Wolves game the other week, and from the stands, row 12, and Trent was open for a pass on the wing to trigger a run from the 3 forwards. Didn't happen. It's like they're all brains dead. It's fucking dodgy, mate. And you've got to that's why you've got to share the blame to everyone. The players aren't putting the effort in. The manager clearly isn't doing everything he can be doing right. And then the owners are showing the lack of investment, which is a big shame. You know what, though, the firm? I think I'm going to call it a day there, because I don't want to exhaust the questions. I'm probably going to go live again tomorrow at about 10 in the morning. Chat, is that a good time for you lot? 10 in the morning, UK time? Because I'll do a Wolves preview, and I'll just do similar style to this show, like talk to the chat, touch on the Wolves game. But in the main, like, we'll just chat shit, you're on it, like, we'll just have a bell. I might even get a guest on for the show. School. Big up to everyone who's in school tomorrow. Yeah, here's the score then, chat. If you can't make it for 10, yeah, do you know what I'll do? I'll fuck the preview off. What I'll do, I'll just say tune in for the watch-along. Will you tune in for the watch-along? Or are you going to just be watching the game? It's fine if you just want to watch the game. I'm just trying to gauge how many of yous I'm going to see. And if so, I'll give you a shout-out tomorrow. 5 p.m. Do you know what I'll just do? I'll post... Yeah, I'll post... I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll work it out. I'll work out what content I'll get out in the morning. Regardless, expect to see a watch-along tomorrow. Expect to see a match reaction after the game tomorrow as well. And mate, I think we will call it a day there. Smash a like on the way out, please. Again, it just supports the channel, gets the channel bigger. You can see the subscribers are shooting up at the moment. The amount of new people and new faces that we're getting to James Redmond TV is amazing. It's great to see the direction that the channel's going, the way that we're growing it, the banter that we're including, but also the serious football chats that we can have, like proper debates and the honest football and point of view that maybe other big platforms on YouTube don't bring. Like, you've just got to understand, like, a lot of these big platforms can't say FSG out. They've got things with them to it. Like, it's unfortunate, but that's just the way they've got to be. I'm looking for James Redmond TV to be its own entity, to where it funds itself and it runs itself, and that means I can have full exercise to do what I want. But I'm also proper intrigued on that Misfits boxing. I'll try and get in contact with the people who do it, and maybe see if I can dabble into it or whatever, and throw a few fists. But anyway, guys, make sure you're in for the watch along tomorrow. Much love to everyone and the mothers, and I will see you all in a bit. Peace.